corner.
The state rules for Nevada. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. You can only be saved by the bell in the last round of the fight. The referee is the only man who can stop the fight, but if the doctor advises him to do so, in 999 cases out of 1,000, that is what he will do.
Holmes has already got the crowd on his side. They're already shouting, "Larry, Larry."
Top Rank Incorporated and the undisputed, undefeated king of beer, Budweiser, present the featured bout of the evening. This bout is dedicated to the memory of Chuck Minker. It is sanctioned by the WBA, the WBC, and the IBF, with the approval and sanctioning of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Luther Mack, Commissioners Nat Carasali, Dr. Elias Ghanem, Bruce Lane, and Dr. James Nave, Chief Inspector Mark Ratner, Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Flip Pomansky, attending physicians, Dr. William Berliner and Dr. Robert Boy. The timekeepers, Mike Lachella, counting for the knockdown seconds, Al Bisick. The scoring for this bout will be done on a 10-point must system, and the 3 judges assigned ringside are Carol Castellano, Glenn Hamada, and Chuck Jampa. And once the bell rings, the man in charge of all the action working for the 66th time in a world title bout, Mills Lane. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the site where legends are made, Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing their white trunks with red trim and weighing in at 233 pounds. His overall career totals are 54 victories against only 3 defeats, with 37 KOs to his credit. For 7.5 years, he ruled the division, making 15 defenses of the title. Tonight, he returns to Caesar's Palace, where he won it all in '78. Ladies and gentlemen, from Easton, Pennsylvania, the challenger, former heavyweight champion of the world, the Easton Assassin, Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes is telling him he made 20 defenses of the title.
Wearing the gold trunks with white trim, weighing in at an even 210 pounds, is 1984. Olympic bronze medalist, was the first of that great '84 team to win a world title, becoming cruiserweight champion in only his 13th bout as a professional. Since moving up to the heavyweight division, he's maintained a perfect record, which now totals 27 victories without a defeat, 22 by KO. Ladies and gentlemen, from Atlanta, Georgia, the 2-time world champion and current undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Real Deal Holyfield.
They're called into the center of the ring for final instructions from Mills Lane.
You've been through all the instructions. Expect a tough, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions from Mr. Holmes or his corner? Any questions, Mr. Holyfield or his corner? Let's get it on.
All set here in Las Vegas. Is Larry Holmes about to cause a sensation? Can he make history by becoming the oldest world heavyweight champion of all time? Evander Holyfield thinks not. The bookmakers think not. They have Holyfield here at an 11-10, or 11-2 on favorite, I should say, to keep his crown. Holyfield in the yellow trunks. First round due to go 12, and a fast start from the champion.
I think Holyfield's he's going to want to come out and get this job done as quick as he can. He looked very focused in the corner.
Holmes came back before, remember, coming out of retirement to fight Mike Tyson, and he was demolished in 4 rounds, and we thought that would be the last we ever saw of him. But he's back again, and I must say, that night when he lost to Tyson, I never thought I'd see Larry Holmes in another world heavyweight title fight. remember, though, that a 42-year-old George Foreman did last the full 12 rounds with Holyfield and acquitted himself with great credit on that occasion. Holyfield will have to watch that sharp ramrod jab that has always been such a feature of Larry Holmes' work.
Yes, he's always had a very good jab. In his heyday, it was second to none. Also a very good right hand, which he tried there, but never quite came off. But he's very fast, Holyfield. He's got a great repertoire of punches, and he bangs with both hands.
He's not noted as a real big, heavy puncher at heavyweight, Holyfield, but he does tend to wear people down, and he is tremendously conditioned and can really put the punches together to finish off opponents. Holyfield taking the initiative in the opening round. Was a feeling, I must say, going into this, that one thing Holyfield really would have over Holmes was far greater mobility.
Yes, he will have that. I think also he'll have strength. He's a superbly conditioned athlete. But this is where Holmes is good. Holmes can spoil a fighter. He can close him down. He can stop his arms working. I think that's what he's going to have to try and do.
Holyfield still really with the job of trying to convince the public that he is, as he says, the real deal as a world heavyweight champion. He'll certainly, I think, want to do a number on Larry Holmes tonight and finish this early. Holmes gets him with a right hand right on the bell.
I got you. Give him a little bit more aim.
And there's Larry Holmes in the corner. He didn't do too much in that opening round, but he did score with one right hand right on the bell. There it was.
Give him a little bit more aim.
And Holyfield, though, doing most of the work and forcing most of the pace. That right hand again from Holmes.
And he got in a nice sneak right hand.
All right, now, you're doing okay.
Beautiful, baby. You're getting good rhythm out there. Good rhythm out there.
Second shot. Let's go, Izzy.
Evander Holyfield, I think, will have taken the opening round on the scorecards of the three judges. He did most of the work. And the corner expressed satisfaction with that opening round. Lou Duva. Holyfield, the champion, in the yellow trunks. A 42-year-old grandfather, Larry Holmes, in the white trunks here.
Everybody's talked about that a key weapon for Holmes is going to be his left jab. But Evander Holyfield has good head movement. He slips from side to side, so he may be able to avoid it.
Holmes literally toyed with Ray Mercer when they fought a few months ago, but I think Evander Holyfield is going to be an entirely different proposition for Holmes. He's trying to maintain a fast pace.
I think this is where we might see Larry Holmes from time to time, or for a considerable amount of time in this fight, is up against the ropes. I don't think he'll want to move that much, because that's just going to take a lot of steam out of his legs. I think he'll try and do an alley rope-a-dope.
Holmes trying to conserve his energy and counter-punch off those ropes, and he did score with a nice right uppercut in that exchange. Good punches from Holmes there, and the tactic worked for him then. taking a lot of punches on the gloves and arms, using all his experience and coming back with his own counters. Smart work from the ex-champion, showing all his guile.
Yes, and he's going to need it. He's landing with some good uppercuts, but Holyfield's content to stand right in front of him.
I don't think Holyfield's actually found the target with much, though. He's just hitting the elbows and gloves. And look at Holmes, he's landing with the better punches in this second round. Well, this is obviously part of Holmes' battle plan. It is a variation on that old Zaire rope-a-dope trick of Ali's. Stay there, take the shots, cover up and counter.
Yes, he's got to try and use his experience. He can't match Holyfield for strength and for youth or for fitness. He's got to try and use all them fights, all that experience from them fights.
Good right cross from Holmes. Holyfield trying to club him at close range. Remember, Holmes here with a weight advantage of 1 stone and 9 pounds. Holmes has been genial in the build-up. He's had a smile on his face. And he's looked so relaxed. Even swapping jokes with the MC during the ring announcements. You see, he's been there, he's done it so many times before.
He's been a little like George Foreman on his comeback. You know, this time around he's a lot older and he's enjoying it a little bit more because the pressure's off.
Once again, Holmes on the ropes. Holyfield looking to find a way through. Holmes saying that I'm going to expose this fellow who calls himself the real deal. In my day, Holyfield wouldn't have been heard of. He wouldn't live with Ali, Quarry, Frazier, Shavers, Norton, or me, come to that. That's what Holmes was saying. Well, was it just hype, or can he deliver?
Well, he was probably telling the truth because Holyfield was probably only about 11 years old at the time.
Good right, Holyfield. And another one.
Good right.
Starting to get through now in this round. Holyfield is one of those professionals who just always seems to find a way to win. He has been shaken up in the past, notably by Cooper in his last defense. But even then, he survived and he delivered the victory. Holmes trying to just kid his way through it. The old fox trying to give away 13 years.
Holyfield's throwing the shots, but not really getting through with anything big at the minute.
And now he's just talking and nodding to Holyfield, who takes not a blind bit of notice, just comes back in again. Good right on the counter from Larry Holmes, and a body shot too. And this time it's Holyfield who has to get the gloves up.
Holmes is going to try and unsettle Holyfield. But Holyfield's a true professional. He just gets on with his job. And I think he's going to be there in front of Larry Holmes as long as he wants him.
Interesting round. I think Holyfield will have taken it.
You gotta back him up with that left jab. You gotta step in with the left jab when you're up against the rope. Get my angle and step in. You got him reaching around you, Larry. Straight punches gonna beat him to the punch.
That That's Don Turner, you can hear talking in the corner to Larry Holmes. Action again from the round. Good right cross it was from Holyfield. About outworked Holmes in that round. Holmes did finish quite well, but I don't think it would have been enough to win him it on the scorecards. Well, 3 rounds gone, and those who thought that Holmes would be put away in double quick time have been proved wrong. Here comes the 4th round. Holmes is not doing too badly at all so far.
Well, Holmes has done quite well. He's managed, you know, he's got good survival techniques. He's messing Evander Holyfield about a little bit, but he managed to do that to Mike Tyson for a few rounds as well. But I think Holyfield will bide his time and just try and wear Holmes down.
Holyfield, who used to pump gas into the aeroplanes at Atlanta Airport in his hometown of Georgia, and just boxed for fun for an awful lot of years before he ever got paid sums like the £10 million he's getting tonight. Holmes inviting Holyfield in and hoping to catch him on the way in.
Yes, I think that's what he's looking for. He's looking for a counter punch. He's looking to come back with a big right hand.
Holyfield not necessarily too willing to buy it.
Yes, Holyfield's trying to use his head as well. He's not that keen to come inside. He's stepping up and trying to bring Holmes out of them ropes.
Right cross from Holyfield, from Holmes rather, off the ropes. He's very dangerous when he's in that position. Just waiting and watching for gaps and then exploding his punches into them. Great close-in camera shot here. And you can score pretty easily here. You can see what's landing on the glove and what's getting through. Like that left from Holyfield, that found its target.
Both fighters land with good shots inside.
Right cross from Holmes. Attritional inside battle. Oh, and that right finding the target too from Holyfield. Well, it's developing into pretty good battle, this one. Temperature dropping all the time, but it's been a very, very hot day, and it's a warm evening here. The temperature still up between 80 and 90 degrees. The water being doused onto Larry Holmes, the man who used to call himself Black Cloud and the Eastern Assassin. Eastern after the town he comes from in Pennsylvania. He owns half of it.
He is time. He's winging. His punches is getting wilder and wilder.
There's the Evander Holyfield corner. George Benton, Lou Duver in there.
Now listen, when you get close, hit him on the arms and the shoulders.
You gotta go 2 hands. You gotta go 2 hands.
Come on, let me see it. I don't get hot in.
Well, they don't sound amazingly happy with Evander Holyfield so far.
I think they want him to do a little bit more work. You heard George Benton there shouting for him to work on Holmes' arms and shoulders, so his arms will be too tight to throw the jabs. A trick Rocky Marciano used to do to very good effect. He used to batter his opponent's arms so they could hardly keep their hands up.
Talking about Marciano, Larry Holmes once got into serious trouble when he said that Marciano couldn't have carried my jockstrap. That really did unleash a rumpus. Didn't make him exactly Mr. Popular. I think Larry regrets ever having said that about one of the great world heavyweight champions.
Yeah, at times Larry's had a thing about putting his foot in his mouth, and certainly that was a very bad thing to say. Marciano was a great champion. But Holmes has always fought for that respect. He's never really got it. He never really got the recognition of the greats. And I think he always wanted that, and that always upset him. Well, if he can pull this one off tonight, he may get that.
Holmes, who's amazed that he can earn £4 million at the age of 42. He says it's like robbing a candy store and not getting caught. He's taking an awful lot of Holyfield shots on the arms and gloves, and the judges will have to take due note of that. Holyfield's coming forward a lot. He's throwing a lot of punches. How many of them are landing is pretty difficult to tell. Those landed all right.
Yes, he come back there with a good left hook and right hand. And these shots, they will take effect. Even if they land on the arms, they all hurt.
A lot of this close quarter stuff. Oh, look at that right uppercut from Holmes. He's still dangerous. The suspicion is that Holyfield is just outworking him. Holmes has got to do a little bit more, but he is scoring with some handy punches like that.
Well, that's the shot that Holmes has got to go for. He's got to go for that right hand, because Holyfield at times does throw his shots with his left hand dangerously low.
It's a bit of a hiding to nothing this for Holyfield once again, as it was against Foreman. If he doesn't beat Holmes inside the distance, it's going to be regarded as an unconvincing performance.
All you gotta do is give him an angle. He's reaching. Shot. Gotcha. Sixth round coming up.
Still got a long way to go, huh?
It ain't long. Listen, start stepping to him with that jab. Touching him. Walk him down.
Woo! Give me that jab. All right, now look, drink this water.
Got the mouthpiece.
Sixth round coming up. Live from Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. Open air crowd of 16,000 watching on and absorbed, because so far Larry Holmes still has a chance of causing the big upset and winning the world heavyweight title at the age of 42 years and 7 months. Holyfield trebling up on the jab.
Well, Holyfield's doing everything right at the minute. He's keeping constant pressure on Larry Holmes, and that's what he's got to do. He's got to tire him out, wear him down. He's got to be looking to try and do the best of his work in the second part of the fight, where it's going to hurt Holmes the most.
That's the question, really, as this goes on with Holmes' age. Will his stamina just dry up? He could run out of gas at any time. Holyfield is keeping up the pressure, keeping up the pace on him. Will Holmes start to become discouraged the longer this goes on? Holmes has done quite well so far, but he's got to do more work, really, if we're talking about actually winning the fight.
Yes, I think he's done quite well in still being there. But to me, he's trailing in all of the rounds except maybe the first.
Holyfield, always light, bouncy on his feet. He actually has a 70-year-old ballet teacher who helps him with his footwork.
He's a true professional. He has a coach for every different part of training. He works very, very hard at his boxing, and he's a righteous champion.
Undefeated in 6 contests as world cruiserweight champion, and in 3 as heavyweight champ.
Holyfield's pushing Holmes along the ropes. I think he's trying to use his strength, his physical fitness in this fight.
Well, those are good shots from Holyfield. He got through that high-held guard. He's starting to find a way through now, Holyfield.
Yes, he's finding the target a lot more now. And Holyfield's right hand isn't coming back as snappy, and he's not landing his jabs.
Is reality beginning to crowd in on Larry Holmes? That was his worst round yet, and the best for Holyfield. Well, it looks like Holyfield has picked up a cut in that round by the side of the right eye. Lou Duva is claiming it was a butt. I didn't see any butt, says referee Mills Lane. And they're going to have to do some work on that.
Now listen, you got to box him just like you was doing. You see how you was boxing? Yeah. Not just box him like that.
It looks to be on the side of the eye, but it could be a factor in this fight. Welcome back with the news that Evander Holyfield is now being treated for a cut by the right eye. There it is. The corner think there was a butt in there. Referee Mills Lane says he didn't see one. 7th round. And a new part to the equation, and Holmes now has seen the cut and will start snaking out his jab in towards that, just at a point in the contest when Holmes might have be beginning to lose faith a little bit, because Holyfield had a pretty big round.
It looked quite a nasty cut in an awkward place, right in the corner of that right eye. Lou Dover complained bitterly that it was a butt, and on a slow motion we've seen the end of it. It looked like it may well have been an elbow. But nonetheless, Holyfield is cut.
He may be a good deal more tentative as a result of that. He wants to keep that eye out of harm's way. Holmes will do everything he can, such are the realities of professional boxing, to make that cut even worse. Chance of Larry from the star-sprinkled crowd here. He is the sentimental favorite.
Good jabs from Holyfield. 3 jabs there.
Holmes getting his jab into play again as well. This is when Holyfield is starting to look most effective, when he starts crashing those punches through the guard and into the head with Holmes on the ropes. And Holmes isn't countering quite as much as he did in that situation, say in the 2nd round, when he had a good one.
Holyfield's working well again. He started a little bit tentatively, but now he's back to pushing Holmes against the ropes and starting to work inside. I think he may be, he's obviously a little worried that could get any worse when he's in close. He's trying to get Holmes to stay at distance a little bit, and he's using that jab a lot more, Holyfield.
Holmes has snapped out his jab a few times, but the heavier shots come, some of those landing on the elbows, but one or two getting through to the body too from Evander Holyfield. Larry Holmes, who earned only $300,000 when he first fought for the world heavyweight title 14 years ago, and tonight on $7 million, £4 million. Not a bad round for him at all, that one.
Yes, that was a better round for Larry Holmes there. I think he was a little bit inspired by the fact that Evander Holyfield has a cut.
Here's how it happened. We think the cut. We think it might have been an elbow there of Holmes going around the right eye of Holyfield. That was in the 6th round, the round before the one you've just watched. And they're still working on it there.
Yeah, they're going to have to work hard. The cut man is going to earn his money now.
Here it is again, Glenn. There.
Yes, that looks what did the damage. It just seemed to... He brought his head down on Holmes' forearm and his elbow. Yes, right on the eye.
Let's go now, come on.
Well, that's the value of excellent camera work there. You saw, I think, exactly what caused the cut. Doesn't seem to be too much of a problem for Holyfield at the moment. Holyfield is unlikely to tire down the stretch, such as his conditioning. What about Holmes? Mind you, we were asking all the same questions when he fought Foreman, and Foreman fought quite excellently. Holmes is talking to him in there. They touch gloves. Two really good, knowing pros.
Holyfield got through a good combination there. Double jab, right hand. And another one. Left hook to the body, right hand over the top. He needs to keep the pressure on Holmes. He needs to really make him work.
Holyfield is in control at the moment, but he does have the eye problem.
I'm surprised that Holmes isn't using that jab of his more. He's just started to do it now. But really, when Holyfield's eye is cut like that, he should be sticking it out all the time. Good right hand, nice and fast from Holmes. He's still got some of his speed.
But he's only doing it in spasms, and Holyfield is just keeping up a fairly relentless pressure. He's just doing more work, isn't he, Holyfield?
Holyfield's outworking him, as he should. And he's doing a good job, but I think he could probably step it up a gear again if he really wanted to. Holyfield, Holmes is very good at this sort of work, at tying him up. He keeps a good high guard when he's up against the ropes. And it's very, very, very hard for Holyfield to get good, clean shots in.
How much different a fight might this have been if the Holyfield of today was fighting the Larry Holmes of 10 years ago? Now there's a question.
I don't think I've got the answer for you, Ian.
I bet I know what Holmes's answer would be.
Well, Holmes hasn't done that badly up to now. He's in there. He's putting up a fight. And he looks sharp at times. But the minute Holyfield is just outworking him.
Bell goes to end the round. Holyfield's round, I think. And that's the scene under the Desert Stars here again. They get to work on that eye. The jab's working good for you, they're saying in the Holyfield corner.
Come on, baby. 9th round. If Evander, you're way ahead on his head. You gotta box this guy, outsmart this guy.
Listen.
Keep him in the center of the ring.
Right, keep the gym. Evander, when the guy goes to the room, just back off. Okay. You understand? Keep him in the center, because he can't do nothing to you when you're circling him. You see that? Okay. See, now do what you're told to do.
George Benton
Box
doing
the guy,
the talking.
keep him spinning. Okay. Get the hell over that rope. Don't let him get back on that rope. You see, that's his thing. Yeah. And he's trying to pinpoint, he's trying to knock you off with that right hand because you're giving him leverage.
Okay. Got it, get off.
Now keep him in the center. When he goes back to that rope, you back off. You understand?
Okay.
Now
Now,
carry your hands a little higher than you do.
that's a good insight. Holmes landing with a greater percentage of punches in that round according to the computer printout. 9th round. Holmes starts fast. Holmes under instructions, or Holyfield under instructions, to keep Holmes in the center of the ring and not be drawn into the ropes where Holmes can counter.
Good work from Holyfield there. I wouldn't have agreed with the computer stats by saying that Holmes had the better percentage. I would disagree with that. I thought Holyfield won the round and threw the more shots and the more scoring shots.
Yes, you are sometimes suspicious because somebody must be putting those stats into the computer somewhere. One of our American television colleagues. I must say, it looked to me like Holyfield won that last round.
It's interesting to see that George Benton is telling Holyfield to stand, to keep Holmes in the middle of the ring.
Well, Holyfield put so much into that left there that he fell off balance. He smiles ruefully.
Yes, I find it interesting that George Benton's saying that. I think, you know, maybe the center of the ring suits Holmes more, who has the better jab. I'd have said maybe it's a better ploy for Holyfield to push Holmes back.
Lennox Lewis is watching this fight. British and European champion. He has 5 rounds so far to Holyfield, 2 to Holmes and 1 draw, and we hope to be speaking to Lennox after the fight. I wouldn't disagree too much with that scorecard, but how the judges are seeing it, we don't know. We've seen some eccentric things in the past.
Yeah, I've got my call. I've got Holyfield 4 rounds ahead. But Holmes is still there, and he's putting up a good fight.
And he knows enough, and he's got enough guile and experience to possibly make some people feel that this is a less than spectacular and convincing performance again from the champion.
Well, Holmes was a great champion, only 3 defeats on his record. So he's obviously got an immense amount of experience.
Yes, I don't think you'd have found Holmes coming back to go back in again with Tyson. I think he had enough of that night. But Holyfield, he thought, was a different proposition. Tenth round. Now there was a flash of the old Larry Holmes, the fast combination. He used to be so good at measuring his opponents with the left hand and coming through with the right. And he had amazing recuperative powers too in his prime. Man who fought the likes of Ken Norton, Ernie Shavers, Ronaldo Snipes, Muhammad Ali, Mike Weaver, Jerry Cooney. 23 previous world heavyweight title fights.
Holyfield's hands are getting lower and lower. He is keeping them very low. He's got to be careful when Holmes has got a very good right hand.
Holmes came into this fight with a real belief that he could be world heavyweight champion all over again. Although the money, I think, was quite a factor. His businesses have had one or two problems back in eastern Pennsylvania, where he owns about half the town. But I think his properties are still worth about $13 million. And his home, well, he's got 11 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, showers, and at one time he had 15 cars and 7 of them were Rolls Royces. So he's not short of a bob or two.
He sounds as if he's doing all right, but a few million more in the bank won't hurt, will it?
Holmes is doing rather better in this round. Holyfield a little less. And all the time, those watching this will wonder what would happen if Evander Holyfield gets in with, say, Riddick Bowe, who's due to fight Jerry... not Jerry Kurtzer, Pierre Kurtzer, the South African, soon.
Well, I think all them questions will be answered in due course. But first, Evander's got to get past Larry Holmes. He's putting up a bit of stubborn resistance, although Holyfield are having ahead by a few rounds.
Last few seconds of the round. One of the quietest of the contest so far. Holmes looks tired, and Holyfield does a bit as well. I wonder what Holyfield is feeling. I think he really would have loved to have answered his critics by putting Larry Holmes away tonight.
Yes, he was in a funny position. If he'd have put Holmes away early, they would have said, well, Holmes was short and too old. And the way it's going now, they're going to say, well, again, he's going to come into criticism because he couldn't put an old man away.
Oh, that's a good right hand from Holmes.
And another one. He's looking very casual, Holyfield.
Yes, he is. He's suddenly looks very lackluster and lethargic. I don't know whether the heat of this Las Vegas night's getting to him a bit. It is up over 80 degrees. Bad patch of the fight for Holyfield. Can Holmes take advantage of it? That eye's closing up a little bit towards the side of the right eye. I think it's going to be okay, but it is troubling Holyfield. And there's a much more wooden look now about Holyfield.
Good shots, good left hooks there from Holyfield. He's got to keep the pressure on Holmes. He can't let him get a little bit of confidence.
By the way, Lennox Lewis now has it 7 rounds to 2, 1 even for Evander Holyfield. That's better from Holyfield, getting the combinations together again.
Good right hand. He's not throwing them in clusters anymore, Holyfield. He's content to let the bigger ones go in single shots.
Holmes waving him in here now, and there we have an impasse. This is a 0-0 draw here. Holmes saying, come on in. Holyfield under strict instructions in the corner not to do that. And the reason he doesn't want to do that is because Holmes is just waiting there to counter-punch him as he comes in. Holyfield wants to fight out in the center of the ring.
I thought we were going to have a treaty signed there in the middle of the ring.
Well, it looked for a moment as if they were trying to qualify for the Nobel Peace Prize, didn't it?
It did, but Holyfield's using his head. He knows Holmes is wise. He's trying to draw him into a fight. And Holyfield's trying to do what he thinks is the right thing.
Good right hands. Blood flows again from Holyfield's eye. Holyfield came back, but Holmes is down with some good punches now. A timeout. What's the problem here? Loose tape on the right glove of Holmes. He won't mind the rest. He's crashed home some decent right hands in this round.
He's threw a few good shots this round. But again, Holyfield's look very lackadaisical.
Well, they're taking their time, putting the gloves back on. There's that cut by the right eye. I don't think that's going to cause any stoppage, certainly not this late. He's had it since the 6th round, remember, Holyfield. Ooh, he's leaving himself open, and Holmes can see the gaps, and he's exploding punches into them as the bell goes to end round 11, and Holyfield taking to take a few chances there.
Let's go.
Well, again, the computer printout seeming to suggest that Holmes landed with a greater percentage of punches in that round, and I think with those right hands, maybe Holmes did take that 11.
Yes, I would have agreed with that one that time. I think Holmes could have took that one.
Last round here for the World Heavyweight title in Las Vegas. And Holmes, can he roll back the years to give us 3 minutes from his heyday? If he can, who knows?
Well, I think in some ways he's rolled back the years just to survive, and to survive so well.
It would be, I suppose, from his point, triumph of sorts to go the full 12 rounds with the king of the new generation. Although I'm sure he came into this fight believing he could actually win it.
Holyfield just caught Holmes with a few good shots. A good left hook to the body and a good double hook to the head.
Showboating from Holmes, pulling faces, as if to say to Holyfield, well, you're landing a few, but you're not really hurting me.
Well, I think he's done everything right. He's got the win if he just keeps working. But I think Larry Holmes will have a smile on his face after this fight, because he's probably set up another big payday with George Foreman. Out of the oldies.
We said it before, it is a hiding to nothing for Holyfield, isn't it? This
Certainly.
Fight?
Yes, he was never going to come out of it unscathed. I'm certain the press will say the same things tomorrow as they did yesterday. He's not big enough, he's not the best.
But it's been a crafty, foxy old display from Larry Holmes, which is what we expected from him. But we think that Holyfield is handily ahead on points, and I suspect that Holmes probably realizes that too, although he's finishing fast here. And he's landing with some good punches again in this round. Back comes Holyfield at him, refusing to be dominated. That's his fighting pride. And
he's
now
finishing
Holmes
well,
having to cover up. Decent last round.
a very good last round. Lots of action for a 12th round in a world heavyweight title fight.
Last 10 seconds. Blood still streaming from the eyes. It's all over. It'll go to the judges. A very hard night's work for both of them in 80-degree heat plus here. Holyfield, for the second time against an opponent of over 40 years of age, has taken the distance, and I think win, lose or draw, he'll take more stick from the pressmen tomorrow, and Holmes will claim some kind of moral victory, though I think for the most part he did look like a fighter who was in there to say that he went the distance.
I think so. He came to survive, he came to put up a show and survive, and really that's what he did. Holyfield, in my book, won it handily. He did everything right. But again, as we say, the press will give him a hard time. He doesn't deserve it. He's a good champion. I think, you know, it's going to be very hard to say that Evander Holyfield hasn't won this fight and won it well.
Let's get the decision. Let's get the decision.
But he's finished the fight with quite a nasty eye, so I think that'll lay him off for a little while.
Well, there are the two principals, and it's taking quite a long time.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Caesar's Palace, we go to the scorecards. Chuck Giampa scores the bout 116 to 112. That's the same score, 116 to 112 from Carol Castellano, and Glenn Hamada has it 117 to 111 for the winner by unanimous decision, and still the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Real Deal Holyfield.
Holyfield, unanimous points winner of the fight, and no arguments here about that. 2 by 4 points, 1 by, 6 points, and Holyfield was never seriously threatened.